Suck my ass. Yeah, man. They probably just blew my whole video just now. Straight. Well, at least we ain't worrying about monetization right now because that would have just blew it. A cuss word in like the first 2 seconds.
Bro,
Right now because that would have just blew it. Oh wait, let me turn off the other thing. Cuss word in like the first 2 seconds. I mean, they can hear us right now. We
with
we
Trump in the White House, I don't think it makes a difference.
we live. We live. What up, y'all? Six Element of Hip Hop here, and I just didn't even do the thing.
The intro.
Intrism. It's got to be official this one.
Yeah.
There it is. What's good, y'all? Six Element of Hip Hop. I'm your host, Reno Noir. Yes, I am in a crazy location. I do not look like I'm at home. Stu Dog is over here on my left. What's good, Stu?
Peace.
Yeah, man. I'm at Grandma's house right now, visiting Grandma down in Florida. Uh-huh. Oh, we got Corey in the building.
Corey Adger, salute. Corey's in the building. Corey Adger, salute. Peace to Corey Adger.
Or this Bond. Yeah, man. We got a great show, of course. You know, it's big things going on with Fantastic Four right now. The trailer was crazy. Like, I was totally blown away. I did not expect to like it at all. But I think I might like it. Like, it might be kind of good.
Look good.
It look kind of
Look
good.
good.
I think it does.
It do.
Yeah, I can't
It
front.
look like it's gonna be a banger.
It might be.
You know what it is? It's the style. I like the
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
It looked like it's filmed in Panavision, number one. And number
Mhm.
two, it looked like it's from that 70s, 60s era, like they said, but it's
Mhm.
authentic.
Yes.
All we need right now, people, is a good story to go with the look. And we golden. We
Yep.
golden.
Yes. And we have a great story. I think it's going to be a good story. And Fantastic Four First Steps. Yeah, it could be a lot of things. Could talk about a lot of things. Um, the image we got of Galactus was pretty promising. But a lot of people didn't
But
understand.
too small.
Well, that's what a
But
lot of
too
people
small.
said. That's what a lot of people said.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're
Galactus don't
forgetting.
stand on worlds. He can hold
No,
worlds in his hand, which
no,
means
no,
he has
no,
to be.
no. Look it
Can
up.
he? Can he be? Can he?
Yep. He's
Can
just
he?
like he's
I
just
mean,
like
I don't know much about him, but when I've
oh,
ever
yeah.
seen him, he's always been bigger than the planet.
Yeah, well, that's most
Um,
people's conception. Most people's conception of Galactus is that he's this big guy that eats planets like an apple. What it is he's actually about 50. He's actually about the size of a skyscraper. He does walk around on planets. He uses a machine to draw the essence of a planet, and he absorbs that energy, the life energy, into his body. It takes all the life from a planet, absorbs it, but it's a machine that actually does that. He's not like eating planets like they're fucking fruit. And a lot of people think that he's this big guy that floats around just swallowing planets. That's not quite how he devours planets. He
so,
devours their
so he's
life.
not like Unicron. He's not like
No,
Unicron.
he's
Okay.
not Unicron. No, he's not. But he's often portrayed
So
that way.
wait a minute.
A lot of
So
people
wait. Wait. So then that means he will actually be smaller than Unicron.
well, he can manipulate his size, like what's his name, like Apocalypse. He can get super big like Unicron. He can be walking around on Earth to fight bad guys. He can
Now can he?
totally.
All right. Now can he manipulate his size like Darkseid?
That's what I think. Yeah, I think it's. I was just gonna say is it compares to like Darkseid, how you can just change at will.
Yeah, because Darkseid can be as big or as small as he wants to be. Like it
Yep.
all depends on what he but his normal size is normally taller than everybody else, bigger.
Yeah.
But he can be because in the one Justice League movie, he was big, and a lot of people were like, "Why is he so big?" And he's float because he can manipulate his size. He's a
Yeah.
god,
Yep.
so basically he can do that if he wants.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
okay, so I'm looking at it now on my Alexa, and it says weight is 3,600 pounds. So yeah, you're right. He can't be that tall if he's 3,600
right.
pounds.
Right.
And then it says his foes are Spider Man, Susan Storm, Human Torch, Thaddeus Ross, Miles Morales, Reed Richards, Morgana Land, and She-Hulk.
Yeah, pretty much everybody.
Mhm.
Pretty much everybody.
Yeah,
Any Avenger, any
Reed
Fantastic
Richards.
Four, any team.
Now, who is Haruko Achiko?
Who's this?
Haruhiko Achiko. Who the heck is
I don't know. I don't know.
Haruhiko?
Harihiko. I don't know.
No, that's a TV guy. That's nah. We on Wikipedia. All right, let me ignore
Uh,
that.
But
I'm
no,
paying
to be
attention to
honest,
this stuff.
the MCU's Galactus is incredibly faithful to the source material, especially the design and everything. But a lot of he's not planet sized, and you know
Okay.
in this movie, the first trailer reveals various key details about the movie, and we're going to talk about those details that weren't in the trailer, and cool stuff like that. But including its main characters' powers, and the film's premise, all that stuff that didn't
Now,
really get touched on in the trailer. You was gonna
now,
say
one
something?
thing we know.
Mm,
Can you please explain to us? I don't know a lot about it either. The power cosmic.
okay. So the power cosmic is basically Galactus's all powerful, power, and he imbues it into the Silver Surfer, and so he says, "I give you the power cosmic," and so Silver Surfer's flying around with the power cosmic. It's Galactus's basically his power, and he can just shoot beams that fucking will obliterate anything, and it's like one of the most powerful sources of energy in the universe, and so it's something that he bestows upon his heralds and shit like that. But
Mm,
yeah, the character, so in the trailer, right? So in the trailer, we see a lot of cool shit. There's it doesn't show any footage of Julia Garner's Silver Surfer, nor a possible potential Norrin Rad, if that's gonna happen. So we didn't see any of that, but it does reveal
no.
John Malkovich's mystery MCU character, whose identity remains a mystery, but we did see him up there looking like a hippie. One of the most exciting reveals, I think, though, from the trailer is Galactus for sure. Definitely my favorite, and Galactus is usually considered one of the most powerful, beings in the Marvel universe, Marvel characters ever. Yet he has only appeared once in live action, if you count that. 18 years after the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer's poorly received adaptation of Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds finally makes his official MCU debut in this movie here, where he does adopt his iconic anthropomorphic form to visit Earth. Now, to kind of reiterate, and unlike Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, his voiceless iteration, this big cloud puppet that they had, this is actually being voiced and played by an actor, Ralph Ineson. So it is an actual character played by an actual guy. It's not just an entity. And so he will be walking over Manhattan. And Fantastic Four's trailer does not reveal his face, as the villain is only shown from the back. Still, it's made pretty clear that Galactus is a fraction of the size that he's usually depicted to be, usually thought of to be, and often can be in the comics. But if you look at a lot of the covers, that his original cover and stuff like that, like you'll see in the old Fantastic Four comics, he's definitely walking around on planets. And the first shot shows him, shows that shadow looming over New York City, and going by the size of the shadow, it seems that he's about the size of Manhattan. But you know, in the next shot, we see he appears to be barely taller than the Statue of Liberty, which he's seeing next to. So, and that is hundreds of times smaller than he looks in the previous shot. So that lends credence to his ability to change size. And the trailer, is shown at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, ended with a brief shot of Galactus approaching the Baxter Building. And that specific shot doesn't appear in this new trailer either, but it probably will be included in the future promotional material and, of course, in the movie. And, of course, he was a little bit of a different size. And in that particular scene, his size seems to fall somewhere between the two shots in this trailer, the giant looming shadow the size of Manhattan, and the smaller guy that's maybe a little bit bigger than the statue. And Galactus' size does change, but it's definitely unmistakable in these scenes here. And Galactus's smaller size in the trailer is actually faithful to the comics, guys. He possesses the ability to change size and appearance at will. In his first appearance, 1968's Fantastic Four, number 48, Galactus Cometh, where he appears to be smaller than a New York City skyscraper. And in his next few comic books appearances, his size changed back and forth from around 6 times the size of the Thing to half the size of the cities that he invaded. And throughout the years, his size has increased to the point that he often seems to be many times the size of Earth when he unveils his presence. And I think that's artists, imagining, hoping, wishing, pretending that he's this massive, devourer of planets and that he's just big enough to actually like swallow one. But apart from the size, his physical appearance definitely changes as well, depending on the individuals who see him. So Marvel has repeatedly clarified that Galactus is able to increase and reduce the size of his body, and Galactus tends to shrink himself in order to fight and interact with, the inhabitants of the planets that he attacks. And so he increases his size to consume those planets, but his body can also shrink when he's low on energy, putting him on a similar level of strength to other giant-sized villains like Fing Fang Foom and shit like that. But if you remember in a video game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, I think it was, where you fight Galactus. He's yeah, you fight Galactus. I mean, you see how big he is there. He's just kind of like in the city,
Or
like
was that
fighting.
and also in Marvel versus Capcom? I mean, not Capcom. Yeah, Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, the
You
fighting
see
game.
how big he? Yeah, he was super big. Like he
Oh,
came
or
up. Yeah, like he was
yeah,
huge,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he would like slam his hand down and like
yeah.
he could and
Well,
just
that
crush you
in
with his
Ultimate
hand.
Alliance, that's what he does too. And he has this machine that God, I can't forget the name. I forget the name of his machine. But you can probably Google it. But he's got a machine, this big device that sort of sucks the life force from a planet. But yeah, I loved what I saw, guys. I'm a comic accurate fiend. Like shit has to be comic
Yeah,
accurate
me
if I'm
too.
gonna
Yeah,
be
me too.
really,
Me too.
yeah.
Now,
And so
can you explain one other thing to us as well?
busted.
What is the ultimate nullifier, and do you think it will appear in the movie?
Will it appear? Well, first of all, what the ultimate nullifier is, it's a little device, little trigger device. It's like looks like a little mini tiny little gun. Looks like, remember the midget cricket in Men in
Men
Black?
in Black. Yeah.
Yes. Looks just like the midget cricket. And it similar to it anyway. And not really a gun, but something. Anyway. So Reed Richards creates this device that can fucking no, I don't think he created, someone
No, he
gave
didn't
it
create
to
it.
him. Yeah, someone gives it to
Johnny.
him.
Okay, I know the
Yeah,
story. Johnny Storm
there you go.
stole it from Galactus and
Yes.
gave it to Reed Richards.
Gave it to Reed Richards, and then it can do anything. It can nullify. It can do anything, pretty much. And that's I think that they might use it to get out of the universe, or because my theory is that Galactus is going to win and destroy their Earth,
Mm.
and they're going to escape to the MCU 616. And that's
I
how
was
they get
get. I
out.
was get. I was getting ready to say that because if you listen closely in the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
it says they're in a different. It lets you know they're in a different universe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It lets you know that. So you're right. I think somehow they're gonna come to the MCU universe. Somehow I don't know how, but I know they're not in the regular MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And Slade had a question.
You don't collect movie figures. Will you make an exception if there is a Marvel Legends figure? For Galactus, maybe, but probably I still want the main. I still want the Marvel Legends Galactus, the comic one, the big joint. I still haven't got that one, but nah. I mean, MCU figures just don't do it for me. Movie figures, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that they try to sculpt a real actor and it just looks goofy. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Also, I don't really love their costumes in the MCU, so the figures don't look all that cool. They're not that iconic to me. I don't know. I'm a comic dude. That's just what I like. But yes, for Galactics. But yeah, it depends. It depends because Galactus is that dude. So it just depends if they make one, how big it is, all that shit. But
Mm.
yeah, he instead of a giant, you know, humanoid giant with alien armor and a horned helmet. In the last movie, he was just like this big puff of smoke. He was this big cloud with spinning cloud with a big hole in the middle, like a combination of a big hurricane with a black hole in it. And the 2007 redesign seemed like a clear attempt at modernizing the villain in a more realistic way, because they didn't want to just have this like giant guy in space. They thought that would just be too corny or silly. And this is what live action in Hollywood has always gotten wrong about comic adaptations. They always thought they had to make it realistic and I guess who are you doing it for? I don't know. You're doing it for people that aren't fans of the comics anyway. You're trying to get new like why don't you fucking worry about the people that are fans of it? They'll bring everyone else. You know what I mean? Like if all the fans of the source that you of the shit you're making is raving about the movie, everyone else is gonna follow. Um, I think they're starting to learn that shit. DC definitely
Mhm.
figured it out. They're sticking to comic reality and making movies for fans and shit. So I think the DCU is going to be great. And we have some
Yeah,
great news about the
because I
DCU. Man bat. Oh
yeah
shit.
yeah, and I yeah I agree with that, because if you're a casual fan, and let's just say you see it on the screen,
Right.
and now all of a sudden you want to go collect the comic, or you want to just look up more, and you see the same thing you saw on a movie screen, that's easier and more sellable
Yeah.
than you got to say, well, this is what he looked like in the movie, but maybe the casual fan might like the comic book version better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you did X-Men, the movies, those first movies we got in the '90s, the X-Men that we get from the Marvel Legends, they look cool as hell. But the one from the
Oh
movie,
yeah.
everybody was dressed in black. Everybody was dab. It was like black and gold, and they really didn't look all that exciting to look at, or whatever. So I would have rather had, if you would have made them look more like the comics, like the figures. That's more
Yeah.
sellable, because now kids are like, when the kids see it, you're gonna be like, I want that one. I want the one look like that. Right,
Right.
and that sells more merchandise.
I agree, and I think it's just a learning curve. It's something they had to figure out, something they'll learn as they go. Um, Slade talking about what about Fantastic Four figures? Definitely not. No, 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 because those will be, you know, actors. Toys of Pedro Pascal, a toy of what's his name? I'm not into it. I don't like really figures of real people. I think that's what it might be. But to each his own. If that's what you like, I mean, hey, obviously they sell, and I want them to sell because that's the way they keep making this stuff. Is if the merch sells, because that's really why they do it. Let's be honest, they're trying to sell
Yeah,
merch, and that's cool.
yeah.
Let them, But hey, we got to have it. Let me try and get this thing up here. I'm gonna try and show y'all some Galactus right now. All right, there you go. So for those who just might not be super familiar with how Galactus might totally look, here's a few different iterations, actually, a few different versions that I found here real quick. Can slide up. I promise it's real quick. All right, here we go. So, bop. There's Galactus Hungers.
Right, now look how big he is there, though.
I mean, compared to what? There's nothing
I'm
there to
saying that compared to
how
what we
big.
no, compared to what we saw in the trailer. I'm just
No,
saying,
I
like, he
mean,
was literally.
there's nothing of perspective in this picture to tell you how big he is. He could be the size
Oh,
of an
no, no,
ant.
no. I mean, like, look, he was holding the planet in his hand. That's how big he was.
Oh, this one. This one you mean? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That one, yes, because that's what I mean. Like, yeah, they do draw him. Some artists have done that, but like I said, when you go back to the original, like the first iteration and shit, he was not that big, and then here he is. But like, yeah, in artwork and shit like that, they always show him so big, and he can get that big. He can. I mean, when he's out in space, he can grow as big as he wants because there's nothing to stop him.
There's nothing there. Okay, I get it now. So he is like
He's on
Darkseid.
a
He has
planet.
a normal size. He
Yeah,
has a normal size, which is about the size of a skyscraper. But
right.
then he can manipulate his size as big or small. All right, I get it. I mean,
Mhm.
not that I didn't get it, but I'm just saying now I
Mhm.
got more of a scope. Because like I said, I never really read a lot of Silver Surfer comics or anything, so
Yeah.
I don't really know much about Galactus other than who he is and some of the things he can do. But I don't know anything like somebody that really read it or was into it or deep.
Yeah,
That's like me. I'm deep into the New Gods and Jack Kirby and all that. So
right.
like I pretty much know a lot about them because I've read their comics. I went back and read the old stuff, the new stuff. I've seen how they
Right.
changed the stories over the years.
Mhm.
So like that's why I was asking. I was like, bro, let me put us down with some Galactus. Let us know what's up.
Yep. And a lot of people, when the trailer came out, and it was definitely missing a display of Mr. Fantastic's powers. We kind of
Yes,
saw everyone else, but the trailer treated the
everyone else. Yeah.
fans. Yeah, we saw all of them. But Reeds and Marvel fans were eager to see Pedro Pascal's stretchy abilities. After they wanted to see how his accent was going to sound as Reed, and boy, does he lose his accent. I mean, he just sounds like good old science nerd. And everything we know about why Mr. Fantastic powers are missing from the Fantastic Four trailer is there's
It's a
several
mystery.
reasons why Marvel might have left out the powers from the trailer. Firstly, it's quite possible that post-production work on the movie isn't really complete yet, and maybe the effect doesn't look at how they want it to look yet. That's very possible.
Mm,
The studio may need more time to get the visuals of his iconic stretching powers down to the last, down to the fine tune, and the last thing that Marvel Studios needs is Mr. Fantastic's elasticity looking janky in the trailer
hmm.
or the movie. Secondly, it is also possible that the studio left out the powers from the trailer on purpose to ensure that
For the se-
fans get the
for
look.
for the second trailer, because this is only the
For a
teaser.
second. Yeah, yep, and a lot of people speculate that this might have to do with the movie's plot as well. So since Reed perhaps
Mm,
feels responsible for how his family was affected by the space mission, he might have decided to use his powers scarcely out of guilt. He might not be like the other movie where he's just kind of dancing with it and fucking around using it all the time for fun. He might just keep it to himself because he doesn't want to brag in a way like but
but
whether or not.
but that's more comic book accurate, because
Yeah.
when they first got their powers, now I read a lot of Fantastic Four. Not a whole, but I read a lot. When they first got their powers, one of the things that Reed Richards did do is he did blame himself because what happened to them was an accident, and he actually took
Shit.
all of them with him on the mission in
Right.
order to, and they got hit with the cosmic rays, which turned Ben into stone. Johnny was able to turn the flame suit with the stone. He was stretchy. It's not the sad version we got in that last movie or anything like that, but he does kind of like, unless he's like out fighting crime or fighting a supervillain, you don't really see him stretch much in the comics unless
Yeah.
he's like reaching for something that he can't reach that's on the other side of the room. Other than
Yeah.
that, he doesn't overly use his powers like he's just always stretched out all the time. He
Mhm.
just doesn't do it. And he does feel kind of responsible because Ben can't change back, and Ben was like his best friend. And in the comics, the thing can't change back. But over the years, they telling us that the thing he turns from stone to human one time a year, and it's for one day. It's for 24 hours. Um, I don't know. I just read that in the comic where he just fought the Hawk. On the day that he turned back into a human, and the Hawk was like enraged and wanted to fight him, and so Ben was like, I'm about to turn into a human. I can't fight this dude. So he
Mhm.
apologized to the Hawk. He said, "Look, you got it. You the man. You can beat me. You are
Yep.
strongest there is." And he changed into a human, and he said, "So if you want to beat me into a pulp and kill me, now's your chance to do it." And the Hawk looked at him and just jumped away. And was like, "All right, bye." But yeah, but Reed Richards doesn't really use his powers like that. And even in the trailer, he was saying stuff like, it's my fault, and
Yeah.
you wasn't able to do this, and I wasn't able to do that because
Yeah.
they really had a tough time adjusting to their powers when they first got them. I mean,
Especially,
it was yeah, especially Johnny Storm.
not a
I mean,
thing.
and then
He
yeah, the thing was probably the worst. Yeah, he was the worst. And the thing also had a problem because like when they would go like do something, his clothes would rip off. So then that's when he made their suits out of unstable molecules so that they
right.
don't rip and tear, things
Right.
like that. And
Yeah.
then they gave Spider
Power.
Man a suit. Yeah,
Uh,
remember he made Spider Man a suit like that out of unstable
Bombastic
molecules.
Bagman. Oh, when he
Yes,
made the spider
yes.
suit. Yeah, they made the spider suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or he
Yeah.
dipped it in some solution or something like that that he made. Spider-Man dipped it in, so it's just I mean, you could. It was still rip and tear, but it didn't do it as easily as it did.
Yeah.
And it did. But
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be the MCU's 37th film, directed by Matt Shankman, set in the retro futuristic 60s. And the movie follows, the Fantastic Four as they battle cosmic villains like Galactus and Silver Surfer, Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards. You have Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, aka Invisible Woman. Joseph Quinn is Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss Backrack plays Ben Grimm. And but some fans surprisingly not happy with the trailer. I thought it was
No.
yeah. Hey, I mean,
Oh,
to each his own. Everybody can't fucking but hey, uh, who knows? Everyone's gonna have something to complain about. For me,
that's true. That's true.
it's crazy because like I really expected to not like this movie.
I'm
I
with you. We
expected it
don't.
to be more of the same.
Yeah, yeah, we did on this channel. I'm not. Yeah, you telling the truth? Because on this channel, we didn't have high hopes for it. Even the way
Nah,
we didn't care about nothing. We just really didn't care. We knew it was coming out. We just like,
yeah,
we see it. It's gonna be the same old, same old. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, damn, that looks good. I was like, hold up, I like that Panavision style and the whole retro theme. Like, that's dope.
yeah, yeah,
We just need a good story. If we get a good story to go with it, I'll be thoroughly pleased because I like the Fantastic Four.
and it looks good. I mean,
It does.
visually, it looks really good, and I was really pleased too about the thing because that's one of those
He
that's
looked like the
really.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
and
looked
it
like
and
the
they
thing.
and they
Yeah,
got it right, but he really
yeah.
does look like this thing from the
The
comics.
comic book comics, he does. He
Yeah,
does.
and yeah,
More, and you know what? He looks more like the comic book version that they came out. I think to me, to like he looks like the
yeah,
cartoon version. And the cartoon version looked like the comic, but it was the one that they did back in the early '80s. I think it was that Fantastic Four cartoon they had. He looks like that because some people sometimes when they draw a thing, they draw 'em with thick rock lips and thick
yeah.
rock eyebrows, and he
Yeah.
didn't have that. It was like it was more molded into his face
It
like
was
you see
like
in
a
the
big
comic.
ass eyebrow, one big long.
Right, yeah, one big long, right, right. So I like the style they went with thing on. You're right, I do like the style they went, and they made his rocks look more put together, like Rocky, but put together.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Part of one chunk. Well,
Right,
yeah, I mean, and because like that last movie with what's his name with she was
oh
called
man,
Fantastic. Yeah, it was just called like Fantastic with the four in the middle. It was what's the Killmonger guy? What's his name? Fucking
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, that one. So, there was a lot of issues with that project, and I hope they don't repeat those with this one. Obviously, and based on the first trailer, it seems like Marvel understood the assignment this time. They didn't botch it. They're going for more of the beloved route of the comics than the bumpy road of the team's other live action bullshit. And that's the great thing now. I think that's starting to happen is these cinematic universes, especially DC, we're seeing for sure. But I think even Marvel is learning that really making these cinematic versions of everything where it's so different from the comics is not really as smart as they thought it was. I mean, they really thought they were clever doing that shit. Not so smart. So they're getting back to more comic accuracy, making shit just look cool how it does in the comics and how people love it. And so I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Um, After that 2015 movie, I was definitely afraid how they would handle the thing, especially. But now the trailer's released, I'm definitely happy with how that came out. It was a
Yeah,
slightly
because
controversial
it
strategy, I
was,
think,
it was,
but
it was.
yeah, they
And
they
the crazy part, it had a good cast. You had
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Michael B. Jordan, and
Oh,
you had Katie Mara,
you like that
Jamie
movie?
Bell. No, I said the cast. I like the
Oh, you thought
cast.
the cast? You like
I
the
thought
cast?
the casting was good. I just wish
Mm,
they made a better movie.
mm.
That was my only thing. I wish they made a better movie because at the end of the day, they just sat around, felt feeling sorry for themselves, and then Doctor Doom had a whole what didn't even look like Doctor Doom throughout the whole movie. And then at the end of the movie, they all used their powers for like 20 minutes, and that was the movie.
Mm.
Like I never got whoever wrote that movie, and we know why they did it, and we
I
get it.
never finished
But
watching it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
yeah, it's so like it's okay to watch. Like you can watch it, but if you're a comic fan and you like the Fantastic Four, like I like the Fantastic, so I just was like. Why are we even doing
Yeah.
this? Like, this just ain't the Fantastic Four. And at
Yeah.
the end of the movie was when they acted like the Fantastic Four, but it was over. And you're
Yeah.
like, well, come on, like, damn, like that don't make any sense. Like, it just doesn't. Like, it was just a waste, man. And Fox should have did better than that if
Yeah.
just to have a legacy for it and to say that we made this and this was how good it was. Now top that. That's what it should have been. That's
Yeah.
that's what the movie should have been. Do better than my movie. And it just
Yeah.
listen. We can do better than that movie with some Marvel Legends figures and a really good iPhone.
Well, Grayified X says my penis has a yellow crust around the foreskin and it smells like fish.
Wait, who said that? Wow,
Please. Wait,
wow. That's
wait.
Slade. Could you take care of that, please?
Look what this dude said. He said my penis has a yellow crust around the foreskin and it smells like fish. That's his comment.
That's his comment, really.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it
Wow.
was funny. But EGC said, "Glad I never watched it." I didn't watch it. Yeah, I couldn't finish it, man. I couldn't get through it. Who knows about the man's foreskin? You should get that checked out, bro. I think it's not good. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good.
It really
It
don't
doesn't sound
sound
good
good,
at all.
man.
Yeah.
And for you to come on here to confess, maybe you need to go confess that to your doctor instead of a chat. Like me, that's more appropriate to where
TMI,
you
we call that.
or you can text it to your doctor since they do telemeds now. All
They do
y'all
tell him, yeah.
millennials like to just do everything from your phone. You come out of here, go telemed, text your doctor that saying, you can even paste that. You can even cut and paste that.
You can show
Go and take
photos.
care of
You
that.
can send dick pics with
Yeah,
cut.
you can send them. Yes, yes, you can, which is something you might be into. You know?
You
So
know, yeah, I mean, I'm sure, guy like that. Chief among the thing, among them, that we see with this new version, due to the CGI versus the practical effects debate, and I believe that a lot of more is getting into the thing with they're doing a lot more like practical effects, whereas it's not just all CGI. Like the dude is actually physically there, and mixing with CGI uh touch ups and shit like that. That's I think that's what looks the best. Not just straight up just CGI. I think that shit looks like Roger Rabbit. I like when they throw in some real effects in there and make it just look real and shit. Because it makes it look realer when you use actual effects, versus CGI and shit. So hang on. So this is what he looks like in the trailer. If you didn't see, I'm sure you saw. But that's him
mhm.
there. And he's got, a very, very comic accurate, big, long, big fat eyebrow, one big unibrow there.
One big
And
unibrow, yeah.
yeah, he looks great. And when we heard him talk, we heard Eben Moss Bacharach talk, and he just played him real cool. I thought he was cool. He wasn't all like do clobbering time. Oh, do. I really fucking hate that thing. I really don't like. That's one of the reasons I don't
That's his
like the character.
whoa, that's his Brooklyn accent. That's his
You can
Brooklyn
have the Brooklyn
accent,
accent,
man.
but you don't sound like a dope. You don't sound like a fucking cool.
That's his New York accent. Come on, that's how he talked back in the
I'm
day
not.
in New
I'm
York.
not. I'm not ragging on the accent. The accent's fine. I'm talking about the voice. The
Oh,
voice.
the
Come
voice,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Who I wonder
the new guy has the New York accent too. He does it really well. It sounds great.
yeah, I wonder who came up with that voice.
Oh well,
Like the accent, like he's gonna have an accent because he's from New York. He's
yeah.
but I wonder who came with the voice, like that deep that
I'm
voice
sure it
that he
was.
has.
I'm sure it was the very first voice actor that looked at him and thought, "Well, what would that guy sound like?" And that's what you come up with. But he doesn't have to sound like that. And the thing is, like, he wasn't born like that. That's not his DNA. He's not a creature that looks that way. He's just a human dude that now looks that way. So he's still gonna sound like a human dude. He's not gonna just all of a sudden sound like he's been a rock monster since he was born. And
Right.
so I like it. I like the way they're doing it now. And it's more of what I would have thought how it would have came out in real life. I wouldn't think he would just all of a sudden sound like a completely different person. Maybe his voice would change a little bit, depending on science. But again, it's comics. Come on, we don't have to get that fucking crazy. But the MCU design for the thing is very, very close to how he looked when Ben Grimm debuted in Marvel Comics. And based on, how this is the team's first MCU appearance set in the 1960s, I think it was a,
1961.
a very, very wise choice.
1961. Yeah,
Yeah.
1961 was when he first showed up. That Fantastic Four #1. So
Right. Yeah. And yeah, CGI is put opposite both darker and brighter backgrounds, which offer different results. And so, and there's still 5 months until the movie's released. The VFX will continue to be polished until then, because it's not perfect. And case in point, um, let me just show you a little one that's maybe not the best. And I don't know what I don't like most about this photo. Maybe it's the hat, but it's just a bit off for me. Let me see. Let me get this up. I had it ready, but we're using this program that doesn't love anybody. All right, there we go. Come on then. All right. Cheerio. Give us one. There we are. So yeah, it's not bad. It's just not perfectly polished yet. So there's a ways to go, but they have plenty of time, and here it's definitely much better. So good shit. I think it looks great so far, and I'm a fan of what I've seen of Eben Moss Bacharach's version too. Like I said, the way he portrayed it, the way he sounds, and the movie managed to make the character have some of the stiffness that one would expect from this character, essentially a walking statue, but also left room for the character's emotions to come through. The problem with that big dopey voice is it it does hinder you from a big range of different emotional inflections and things like that. So it's smarter. It gives you more flexibility to play it that way. So, and every nuance in his performance was perfectly captured by the crew working on the CGI, and the way he moved and everything. And so the result was very, very, very impressive. And as though, I don't know, I thought the design for Michael Chiklis's things from the 2000s, the one where the Fantastic Silver Surfer one with the Cloud Galactus, that guy, the commish, right, Chiklis, um, it was decent, and I'm happy that Marvel went for a different take on the character though. Because again, it still seemed a little dopey, and but it wasn't the worst. Now, I think, while a practical the thing stand-in was spotted when the Fantastic Four First Steps was filming, the actor Eben Moss has commented on the many animators working on the CGI look, revealing, he said, literally hundreds of people are involved in the process of making the thing come to life. Hundreds of people it takes. And so yeah, that's pretty cool to be part of that, man. He was like, hell yeah. But the main reason I was worried about how the thing would look in the MCU is because I disliked how the 2015 looked. I didn't like what was the Michael B. Jordan version. I mean, it's just hideous, man. It's I don't even know like what they were thinking. Here's a good. Let me get you guys a good
yeah, that one was more. Yeah, that one was more like a monster.
example. It was just like
Yeah,
a,
yeah, yeah,
a real rock monster, but not the thing. It's like, yeah, like,
yeah.
what are you
Good.
going for? They wanted to go for a new character that they made up. Hang on, let me get it slide up. This fucking program. No one can convince me that this program is as good as StreamYard. It's way worse. All right, but there he looks like a pile of shit. Uh, I mean, come on, dude. That's just bad. That's just bad. And I don't know. I think the guy that played Reed was way too young looking. The guy that played the girl that played Storm looked way too old for Reed. Um, the thing looks horrible. And I mean, Michael B. Jordan, fine, whatever. Um, but yeah, the thing just didn't look good. Look at that.
Mm.
Nothing like the comics. He's got no eyebrows. His head is pinhead. I don't know. We can do better, and we did better. They did much better, so I'm happy. I'm happy. And that movie was a very generic design, but I think the MCU does the complete opposite now, going with one of the character's most iconic periods in the comics for inspiration. You know, his original look, and the result will possibly it's possibly jarring for those who have only seen the movies or animated series, but it's very very exciting to me and to comic fans. It shows a lot of love was put into the project, and with Marvel intending to make it stand out from the rest of the team's live action, versions. And so after Fox botched it, this Fantastic Four, I think, is reason is going to be great. And I think also it's cool that they're gonna continue to be in the MCU after just this movie. Um,
Mhm.
some people were under the impression that this was like an Elseworlds film or some separate universe that was going to stay a separate universe, and that's fair because it is a separate universe. This movie is separate from the MCU. Shall I say, the universe is not the movie. The universe they're in is not the same 616 universe that the MCU apparent it claims to be. It's its own universe, but we also know that they're going to continue in the MCU and be a part of the Avengers movies moving forward, and Doom and all that. So we know they're going to continue on. So the consensus is, the theories are, and what I think is that they're going to, well, we know they're going to end up in the new MCU. How they're going to do it and why they're going to do it, I think, is the question. I think it might have to do with Galactus. I think Galactus is going
Mm.
to devour their world, or win, or be unbeatable at first or something, and they'll escape or get away, or what? Maybe not escape, because I can't see them like bailing on Earth and like, we're going to get out of here. But maybe something happens where they all get
Mm.
involuntarily blasted
Here's
over
a
into the MCU or
well, here's a
something.
famous Hollywood plot. They get the nullifier. They try to destroy him, but the nullifier gets smashed or crushed or something. It falls in a bit of
Right.
lava.
Right.
So then Reed Richards already knows about the multiverse. So they just travel to the MCU 616 to get another one because they
Yep.
know it has to exist because there is a Galactus there. So they
Right.
go get the nullifier from that universe and bring it back to their universe
Mhm.
to kill Galactus.
Yep. Hell yeah. Yep. That's I think, some variation of that. That's what
Yeah,
I think. That's what I think.
that's a famous Hollywood plot that they do all the time. Famous
Yeah.
Hollywood plot.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very typical. And
Yeah.
I think it'll, like I said, it'll be a variation of that, something, more a clever version of that, but basically that. Um but yeah, I think the trailer gives us a nice shot of each of the heroes. We get to really see what they look like, whether their all their glory, their costumes. We even got to see them use some of their powers. The trailer really did satisfy a lot, but most of all, it definitely underlines the importance of the Fantastic Four as a unit. Whatever life throws at us, we face it together as a family. Kirby says in the clip. And yeah, the movie itself was on hand to present the trailer during the special launch event with Moss Baccarat leading the crowd. And he said, it's clobbering time, and chanting and shit. And so Pedro Pascal was sharing what being a part of the MCU means to him. He said, I haven't had an experience in a cast as intimately as this one where it felt like family, he said. And the anxiety I felt saying goodbye to them each day, wondering when will I see them next. We put our hearts and souls and bodies into this thing, end quote. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's what it takes, man. That's what it takes to make a great product. And this version of the Fantastic Four does take place in this retro futuristic 1960s Manhattan. Feige confirmed on the official Marvel podcast that the film will be a period piece set in New York City, although he said that it may not be the same New York City that fans are familiar with in the MCU. And two previous iterations, of course, of the movie hit the big screen through 20th Century Fox before Disney got the rights back and worked toward bringing this to the MCU. And in the 2000s, yeah, they did the Jessica Alba joint, and that was great, but not so great. And then the disastrous 2015 reboot with
Mm.
Michael B. Jordan that bombed, and then through a clever cameo role in Deadpool Wolverine, Chris Evans, now better known as Cap, came back as Human Torch. So we've been getting teased a while, but in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, then we saw John Krasinski playing Reed Richards, who got spaghettied by Mary Sue Witch, and defend
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, but now we have the OG, or the I think the real comics version of the characters, and I think we can run through the trailer and have a look at it with our boys. Why do you? Oh man, bro, please remind me, or please let me know if I ever leave the screen like this, where it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, just be like, yo, Reno the screen. Let me check out the comments real quick. We've been having some chatting. Can't see him in the chat because he definitely booed his ass. Oh yeah, talking about. Oh, he's back. He's back. He says, "How do I send a super chat?" I think you can probably do that. As you're gonna put the cash up icon. Question: the man bat. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the man bat. Yes, sir. I got a question, man bat. It will be. Well, will it be Kirk Langston or a Hollywood version? Yeah, good question. He looks like a rock lord. If I remember that robot movie, GoBot movie. Oh, like a rock lord. Yeah, yeah, from GoBot.
Yeah, from the
But yeah,
GoBots. Oh yeah, I forgot.
yeah,
Yeah, the Rock
yeah,
Lords. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does look like one of the Rock Lords. He's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think I got the Cash App banner. Somebody's really interested. There you go. You can drop some good old support there. The channel definitely appreciates that. Um, where is so here's the trailer. So in case you haven't seen it, or if you have, we'll just kind of talk about it. Talk about it. Don't talk about it. Give me this.
Why is he doing that? In the comments, let us know if you watched the new Spider-Man cartoon that came on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah, I did kind of peep that the other day.
Yeah, it was all right. Wasn't
It
bad.
wasn't as bad as
Absolutely.
I thought it was gonna be. It wasn't great.
Nah, it was a little. Nah, it wasn't great. A little mixed up, and I think they're. I don't know what version of Spider-Man they're doing, but I don't know. We'll see. Uh, I
Damn it.
think they. I don't know because Norman Osborn did find out in the second episode before he became Green Goblin that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Damn.
Shit.
So we'll
Right.
we'll see where we'll see where the writer is taking this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, because we do know that he does find out that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Um, but without turning into Green Goblin, I mean, jeez, that's uh that's a little much.
Yeah, it was
Takes
not.
away some.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
wasn't
takes away
feeling
some of the excitement. Yeah, it takes away some of the excitement.
it. All right,
So
well here we go. Let's chop it up. Not slow motion. Come on, B. I just speed it up just a little bit, y'all, so that it can be what do you call it? Artistized.
Welcome to the Baxter Building. We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what. We're all here.
Does not sound like Pedro Pascal. So he really nailed that shit. He's definitely not sounding like himself. I wish he had more white, you know,
yeah,
in the hair. Yeah.
Herbie, how's that sauce coming? Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. Okay.
Now that check out his little when he licks it, watch his eyes and shit. It's very very what do you call it? Shows the all the emotion, or the all the, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but check out his eyes.
Okay. Okay. Is this guy good or what? I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious. I just want to add a little bit of zip. Okay?
See, he's got his total, like his normal voice, and he's being funny, and likable and shit. So it's not like the other versions are always so depressed, and he's always so like brooding, and it's just like, you're a drag. This guy's definitely not a drag. This guy's more like the comic character where he can play it up, and it's gonna be great.
Before we went up the first time, you couldn't turn invisible.
So this is not an origin story per se. It's not going to be an origin movie, but there's going
Good.
to be bits of the origin, shown in there for
Flashbacks.
flashbacks,
We can do that.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can do that. We
we can
can
do that.
get with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That wasn't a rock. The best pilot in the world, right here. Yeah. Best looking he is. Johnny never caught fire. Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny. And I'm right here. Whatever life throws at us, face it together.
I didn't want to pause it, but
Now,
I
right
got
there, yeah, because he can only go so high because if there's no oxygen, he can't
he
create
lost his
flame.
flame. Yeah, you saw how he
Yeah.
lost his flame. That's why he turned normal when he was way up there. He's like, oh shit, about to fall down.
You're too high.
But he can flame back on when he gets back low enough, and then he can just fly. So he's not gonna like fall to his death or anything. Check out that car, bro.
Car, dude.
What is that
That's
shit?
dope. That's the Fantastic Four mobile.
It's the Four Mobile.
Should be able
says-
to fly.
It says Fantastic Car or Fantastic Four Car. I can't quite make it out, but yeah, that says Fantastic Four Car or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. And it's got white walls.
And it's got white walls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is obviously not obvious. It's not Mole Man. We know who Mole Man's going to be. That one dude, the more portly actor. But I'm not sure who he is playing. Great actor, always does great roles, so it's going to be good regardless. But cool to see that he's in this movie. Malkovich being John Malkovich. So yeah, this is a perfect. So in this scene, you see his shadow, and he's clearly like massive, like way bigger than a building, right? Like the size of a neighborhood. And then this one, he's standing, pretty close to the Statue of Liberty. He's not looming over this, over the, all of Manhattan here. He's definitely much smaller here than that shadow cast. So is this just a mistake, or is this an example of him actually changing size? Another thing is he definitely has that sort of texture of the Celestials. Remember the Celestials?
Yeah.
Well, they were in Guardians, but they were also in the Eternals, which I didn't watch, but the celestial scenes were pretty good, I think. I do want to see those still. I have keep meaning to check them out because I like the Celestials. But yeah, I was really excited to see how they did Galactus, and clearly that's comic accurate shape of the head and everything, like the horns and all that. And you can see right here the sort of little visor over his eye where it goes. So he's going to look just like he does in the comics. That's awesome. And he does have like a purplish hue, even though it is dark and muted like the MCU. But I expected almost it to be, bright like the comics, since the Fantastic Four outfits are all bright and bright blue and comic accurate. These are the most comic accurate Fantastic Four suits I think we've ever seen in a movie live action. So that's cool.
As a family.
I mean, that's pretty close right there. I mean, the white boots, the white gloves, the white belt, the white neck piece, and of course the symbol on the chest. I'm not sure why Reed doesn't have a white shoulder joint.
They never
See,
did. No,
well, they all always had the
no.
same,
They always had the same thing. Yeah, yeah. No, he did.
but
Yeah. I don't know.
here
Maybe
they
they just.
Sue's is a little different. I see that Johnny's his sleeve things come down past his elbow. The white part comes down past his elbow. On the thing, it comes down only to his elbow, and it's got like padding. His is a little
Yeah,
different. And then of
like
course
paddings on.
Sue
Yeah, he's
Storm
got ridges on his.
to her shoulder, right? Yeah, and then Reed has none. So maybe that's significant. Maybe it has to do with their powers. Maybe it
Or
has to do
maybe
with
it's just a. It'd be better if the audience could, for the audience to tell them apart in the movie.
right. Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, they might want to explain it, so that there's an
Yeah.
explanation of why. But also, if you look around this picture here, there's like these weird arrows. Look at that. See these big arrow things that are around the stage that they're on. It's almost like they're on some sort of a set, like a TV show, like a game show set or something, or like the fucking Ed Sullivan show or something. And
Or
this takes
Mojo's
place.
World.
Well, this takes place in the this takes place in the '60s, and very Ed Sullivan era, that kind of show. And they are worldwide known global heroes. They're very well known in this universe. They've been fighting crime for a while. They're loved by the community and the planet, and well known by everybody. So this could be something like that. There's definitely like a stage here, like little stairs. I didn't even notice all this. I thought it was like them in front of their
Your
like
bed.
in their place. Like I thought this was in the Baxter building or something, but clearly this is
Oh, somewhere else.
some sort of show or something. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
on a stage with all these goofy arrow wooden things and shit. And so yeah, we'll see. But that's it, man. It's pretty dope. I think it looks good. It looks way better than I expected it to. I'll say that. I will say that.
Yeah,
I will
same here.
stand. I will
Yeah.
die on that hill.
Yeah.
It's good shit. All right, man. So moving right along, guys. I know people want to know what the hell's going on with the DCU. And honestly, guys, I did not see this Batman villain pick coming. I never thought about this character being in the MCU. It was not one of the ones that I even thought of. But the character that James Gunn, let me know about if I leave the screen like that, bro. If
Right.
if James Gunn, hold on, I did it was cool. Let me check the
Yeah,
chat out. My
there
guy
we
said they put the cash app. I'll send y'all a super chat. I think he did. I did. Reno cash app icon, please. Fantastic Four might be the one. Law, y'all want to make no money? I'm trying to send you money. Do you have a super chat,
He said,
bro? Listen, you know how to make a super chat. Don't you do that right in the chat? Like you don't have to. I don't need to give you nothing to do a super chat. You do that by like.
"Nah, I don't think
Don't
they
you?
do
I
it
don't
like
know.
that
I
anymore."
don't know. I don't fucking know
'Cause
anymore. But
after the
this is
new
how we
update,
do it. This is how we do it right here. This is how we get down right there. That's how we do it.
yeah, now you can't do it like they used to. Before you
Bum.
used to just be able to hit the little joint, like little icon, you can hit it.
Oh, okay. You don't have that no more. I ain't been chatting in a live chat for
Nah,
forever.
nah,
But another thing,
nah.
when
You
you
gotta
do get a super chat like that, YouTube takes about 20% of it. So if you really want to help the channel, Cash App. If you really want to help the channel, Cash App, not super chat. But we always appreciate any love. Any love. But anyway,
If you send love, thank you. If you send love, thank you. We thank
love is
you.
love.
Yeah.
The superhero genre
So
continues to be wildly popular, I think, and fans are definitely looking forward to this DCU. Comic fans are looking forward to James Gunn's DCU because it definitely promises to be very comic-y, very comic accurate, very comic source material based. And while the previous shared universe can be streamed now with a Max subscription, it sounds like the DCU is going to be far more interconnected, uh, even than the MCU, because Gunn's talking about connecting video games and cartoons and shows and movies and everything all connected with the same actors, always playing the same characters, no matter what the medium. And Gunn recently spoke about a Batman villain pick that he wants to bring to life, and I'm actually loving this unexpected choice. There's relatively little information about the upcoming DC movies. We've gotten that that Gods and Monsters sort of slate, and it was what it was. It gave us an idea of what we might see. But it gave us an idea of what we might see. But it didn't really it's not set in stone, because Gunn is not going to just make movies because they were on the list and because the timeline, the deadline came, and there's no script ready, right? He's not making a movie unless the script is A, done, and B, good. He's not making movies just because he told us he was going to make the movie, so don't bet on that list of projects. If a
Mm.
new project comes along, case in point, Clayface, not a project that was on the Gods and Monsters list, not a project Gunn even ever thought about making, but the script came and it was so good that he's like, okay, that's now one of the movies. There's another one, I forget one, that was on the list that he's now not doing because the script didn't come through well or something like this. So, and there's lots of rumors coming, out of fans who've spent years watching DC movies in order, and while answering questions about Creature Commandos on Blue Sky, Gunn revealed one big villain that he wants to see appear sometime in the DCU. He said Man Bat wasn't going to be in Creature Commandos. He's merely one of the many characters that I considered. And yes, I'd be disappointed if we never see Man Bat in the DCU. Now, Man Bat is this guy here. It's not Batman, it's Man Bat. Get it? He's a Batman villain, that is basically the opposite of the man dressed like a bat. It's more of a bat that kind of looks like a man. But he's a badass character, cool villain, very scary and very powerful and strong and shit, and always gives Batman work. But there you have it. While not an all out confirmation of any kind, Gunn is saying that he would be disappointed if they never see Man Bat in the DCU. And just a
Mm.
comment like that tells us that the Batman for the DCU is not going to be anything like the Batman, right? The Robert Pattinson Batman. It's not going to be anything like that realistic, based in reality universe. It's going to have characters like Man Bat, right, and shit like that. So very comic-y, and maybe even if we're really lucky, a bright blue and gray and yellow suit, and Damian
Mhm.
Wayne. So going to be very comic accurate and have lots of nice comic characters and comic looking stuff and feel like a comic book more than any of the other Batman movies that we've ever seen since probably Tim Burton. I don't count Schumacher. I don't talk about Schumacher. I shouldn't have said that because I talk about it. But yeah, it certainly
It's talking
seems.
about me. That's definitely talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth mentioning. But you know, it certainly, I think, seems like there's going to be lots of opportunities because this is a shared universe. There's lots of mediums. There's video games. Like I said, we saw there's just animated shows, animated movies, live action shows, live action movies, tons of mediums. And obviously, we all know how popular Batman and his lore is. So we expect to see Batman across all mediums in some form or another. And so there's a number of ways Man Bat could make his way into the DCU, of course, including the possible Batman villain spinoff like the Penguin or the Clayface joint like that. And while not in the same universe, Colin Farrell's TV series helped renew interest in the Matt Reeves Batman movie that people were like, hey, the sequel. And even still, they really might have to like give us a second season here for that same reason, because by the time we ever get the Batman 2, people are gonna just be done forgot about the Batman 1. But maybe the
Yeah,
Winged Man Bat, I think, is a good choice for this type of show. I think it's a good choice for the DCU because the character really makes you know this is not a based in reality grounded, universe. This is a comic book on screen. And that's the shit I'm talking. That's what I want, you know.
that's what I'm hoping for as well.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and like you said, with the comic accurateness, it just brings more of a bolder take on it, and more of an enjoyable cinematic experience for the fan.
Yeah.
And the and you can pick up the casual fans as well that get used to this comic book iteration.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a ton of superhero projects announced for the DCU. Of course, the whole Gods and Monsters slate, but Bat could fall into any one of those projects. For instance, the Batman, the Brave and the Bold, obviously. Dynamic Duo is another one, the Robin stories. And so there's a lot of, animated Batman projects, and of course Mike Flanagan's Clayface movie coming together. So, where when he says that he'd be disappointed if he doesn't see that character in DCU, he's basically telling you this is a character that he plans to have in the DCU, or he's going to be disappointed, right? So this is something he's doing. Where, when, how, not really part of the conversation yet, but I'm excited because this means so much thing. It means a lot. It doesn't just mean that Man Bat's coming. It means if that's the type of character they're willing to put in a movie, then now we know what kind of movies they're making.
Yeah, we can get Clayface.
Yeah,
We can
comic
get
shit.
Riddler. We can get a better version. The last Riddler was okay, but I just want more of a better version of Riddler.
Mhm.
We can get a really good version of Joker.
Yeah,
Killer Croc. And,
yeah,
Jervis Tech. Because once you get the Man Bat, you go with the more creepier villains that Batman has, like
yeah.
Jervis Tech,
Mhm.
Clayface.
Yeah, it's endless.
Who you got? Man Bat, Killer Croc. They're more the creepier ones.
Yeah,
Than Hush.
Hush.
Then Zaz. Don't forget Zaz, Zazamel.
Yeah.
They're more creepier and sinister than maybe like Joker, who's more fun loving. But the actors that have played Joker, they made Joker more
Fun-loving.
fun loving and more cynical, like more sinister. Because in the comics, he jokes a lot and he does laugh a lot, but he's not like that serious, I'm gonna kill you type in the comics. Like
Well, it depends on the
you know
comic,
what I
I
mean?
guess.
Like depends on
No,
the comic, yeah, too. It depends on the comic
yeah.
too, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying when they bring him to life in the like so now an actor would take these guys more seriously when they play them, like Man Bat. You could be Man Bat is more spookier. He's more the spookier version of one of Batman's villains. Um, and we like him. I like Man Bat. I think Man Bat is a dope. Yeah, exactly. I think Man Bat is a dope character. Like I think he's a dope character that needs to be brought to the screen and more light put on, whether it be in a cartoon or a live action movie. Yes, that's dope. Yeah.
That's when he beats Robin to death. Crowbar. But he does it in a fun-loving way. He does it in a very fun-loving way. He's laughing the whole time. Good
Right.
times. Now, Hush, that's a bad man. Hush, I definitely want to see. Um, and the speculation right now too is not like we really may get our man here, and I'm really excited because this was a great one of my favorite Batman comics and stories. Mighty Max Rax Salute was good, my man. Solomon Grundy could be really a good scary character, absolutely.
Mighty Max, what's up?
Yeah, McFarlane did do a nice Man Bat figure. I like that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I had that
The
Man Bat figure. Yeah, I got that Man
Yeah,
Bat.
Stu
It's
got
dope.
that one. Yeah, Stu got
It's
that one.
dope. It's huge. It's huge
It's
too,
big.
but
It's a big one. Yeah.
yeah, it's a big one. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
big. But it's
But
dope.
fans long awaited the see Hush in a live action movie. We got a, I think, botched animated version where they just kind of ruined the whole character and made it some, I think he was the Riddler or something. But we're still over 2.5 years away from seeing the Batman sequel in theaters, and speculation about that villain continues to just run rampant. There's so many rumors and shit, but Mr. Freeze is definitely a fan favorite choice. Also, though, Hush is a big one. Now, in the comics, Thomas Elliot Hush is one of, Bruce Wayne's childhood friends and a psychopath who tried to murder his parents and inherit their fortune. So, Dr. Thomas Wayne saved his mother's life, and decades later, Tommy's resentments result in vowing to destroy Bruce's life. And now a neurosurgeon, Hush, hides his face in bandages and learns his old friend is secretly now Batman, right? His old buddy Bruce Wayne is Batman. He finds out about it. And with that, he allies with Gotham City's worst villains, including the Joker, or the Riddler, sorry, to destroy Dark Knight, once and for all. And the fact that he joins forces with the Riddler, and we saw so many hints about Hush in the Batman movie, who was about the Riddler. It's almost inevitable. And the production designer Kalina Ivanov was asked if the decision to name the bridge Elliot random the bridge Elliot sorry name the bridge Elliot Bridge, the Thomas Elliot Bridge, was it random or intentional? And she said intentional. So the bridge is the Elliot Bridge, like Thomas Elliot, like Hush. And then that word Hush did appear on the screen real quick. So that it was definitely hinted at. So as you can probably imagine, a lot of renewed speculation. The Easter egg was indeed meant to set the stage for Hush's Bat-verse debut in the Batman 2. And this is far from confirmation now, by the way. But if the bridge's name was intentionally included, there's a reason for that. Why was it intentionally named
Intentional.
Elliott Bridge? So yeah,
Well,
and
maybe,
then
yeah,
Matt
because Elliot
Reeves,
was supposed to have, yeah, he's supposed to have died or something like that.
yeah, and Matt
Yeah.
Reeves goes on record saying, he said, there are so many, and I don't know. I think Hush is a really interesting one to do. I'll say Hush, but that doesn't mean that the next one will be Hush. So when he's talking, he's gonna do Hush, but it might not be the Batman 2. It might be Batman 3 or
Batman
something like
3
that.
and 4, or yeah, yeah, that
Now,
would be dope.
he did address the movie's repeated release date delays and how work is progressing on the script. And talking at the Golden Globes, he said, of course, a priority to get the Batman 2 script where it needs to be, confirming that he's absolutely happy with the work is progressing and that the new 2027 release date is the final one. Now he did add. He said, "I mean, this year we're gonna be shooting, and I'm very excited about it. So they're gonna start filming this year." He said, "There's been a lot of stuff going on, and it's taken a lot longer than we would have wanted. But also, I'm super excited about what we're doing, and I really can't wait to share that with everybody." And then he was asked if he settled on a big bad, and he said, "Yes, of course, or we'd really be in trouble." At this point, he said, "I hope it's surprising. I think so. I think that the story is a continuation in a certain way and a completely different in another. It's going to show a different side to Rob, and it's going to be
Mm,
really cool." Rob is in Robert Pattinson, aka Batman. And yeah, so let's see. There's this tweet from the Penguin design production designer, and that's where she said, "This is the final scene of the Penguin and one of my favorite sets. We took over a modern loft on third floor. So building transformed into. I wanted Oz to be watched the way angry harpies. To my delight, Lauren LaFranc went for it and got down. I thought she was going to say something about Hush. Never mind that. But yeah, Hush is definitely, a big part of the Batman. Whether he is the villain of the second movie or not, he's definitely going to be in that world somewhere. So, if you're a fan like I am, it's good news.
mm. All right, that is good news.
Uh-huh.
Real good
Now,
news.
yeah, and also I didn't realize this, but Invincible 3 is about to drop. Does it drop tonight? It drops like tomorrow. No, tomorrow. So Invincible season 3 drops tomorrow.
Yes, it does. Yeah, can't wait. Two
For
was good. Season 2 was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, 3 they're talking about being more comic accurate, more violence, more action, because 2 was
a lot of
decent, but
dialogue.
it lacked action.
A
It
lot of
lacked
dialogue.
action. Yeah, it
A lot
lacked
of
action.
dialogue. Yeah, a lot of dialogue. Yeah, and you got to have the action to keep the story going. Um,
Yeah,
and because that's how the comic is written.
yeah,
They don't the characters. I don't know what it is about. They got the heroes running around feeling sorry for themselves and questioning their abilities, and I don't know who wrote that and think that's cool. That's You can
yeah,
put that in a novel. Put that in a novel.
right.
Put that in a novel. Not in a TV show. When you have a visual, or when you have anything visual, you gotta impress us with the visuals. Um, we don't want to see people's mouths moving
Yeah,
30 minutes out of 45-minute show, or 35 minutes out of a 45-minute show, because it just doesn't appeal to it. So you got a book, all right, you can do that. You got a comic book, You can kind of do 70-30. But you got
Yeah.
a TV show, we need some action. We need the characters to be doing something except for sitting on a tree or eating a bowl of soup, feeling sorry for themselves, questioning the fact why they have powers. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. In the 80s, if you'd have gave me powers, I wouldn't be sitting around questioning the legality or the morals of it. I'd be out using them. I'd be like, well, let's see what I
Yeah.
can do. Let's get it popping.
Yeah.
Let's light this candle.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want to see
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Anybody
we
that
don't want to see
gets powers, that's what they're gonna do. Come on now, they
that.
not being all existential right off top. Um,
Then there's
The
nothing
early
exciting
reviews
about
are coming the early reviews are coming in for the, 3rd season, of course, because we know that some reviewers get to see them, for the critics and shit. So the critics, after this, well, the 2nd season got a perfect score, and the 3rd season is coming in just as strong with 100%. Well, as of this, show here, Invincible season 3 holds a perfect score of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes based on their early reviews from approved critics. And this number could end up, of course, dropping as more reviews come in. But it's worth noting that season 2's score is still rated at 100%, giving the show an overall score of 99%, with the first season having a score of 98%. So, first season's 98, second one's 100. We hope the third stays 100 as well, because I think, with what I'm hearing about the third season, I think it's going to be better than the second season by a lot. So the third season, what's his name? The one of the critics said season 3 could have easily just felt like filler in the lead up to the looming war against the Viltrumites. Yet it never does. Instead, it remains one of the greatest superhero sagas ever to hit the small screen. This guy says total. He says Invincible season 3 is bigger, better, faster, and stronger. That is from Total Film reviewer Bradley Russell. And then after 2 stellar seasons, Invincible 3 season 3 increases the moral and emotional complexity, enhancing Mark's story and the viewer experience.
Hmm.
But season 3 won't be split into halves like the second season was. When season 2 was broken up, fans aired their grievances in social media. Why are you doing this dumbass shit? And just play the goddamn season. What is this break for? What are you fucking hiatus? What are you doing? It's a cartoon. Either make the shit and put it out, or fucking don't put it out until it's ready. Don't put some of it out and then, oh, we're still drawing it. Like, get the fuck out of here. The Invincible team took notice. They observed. They listened. And the promotional materials for the season 3 promised that there would be no mid-season break this time around, which allows us to binge through the whole season at once, and that's what we want to do. Returning cast members for the 3rd season include Stephen Yen, of course, J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, Gillian Jacobs, Jason, the whole squad. Everybody's coming back. And then we got Clancy Brown and Mark Hamill. Some of the new cast members were recently revealed for the new season that we will see. Breaking Bad stars Aaron Paul and Jonathan Banks are both joining the show. Other guest stars include Simu Liu from Shang-Chi, Kate Mara from American Horror Story, Zolo Madriena, who's Blue Beetle, John DiMaggio from Futurama, Z Ma from Kung Fu, and Doug Bradley from Hellraiser. That's Doug Bradley, the guy that plays Pinhead, and Christian Convey, Sweet Tooth. 4th season is in the works. They're actually already on season 4, and
Yeah, they need to, bro, because
4 is the big one.
breaks. Because and the breaks are too long between the seasons. Like,
Oh
some
yeah,
people lose
yeah.
it. And if you want us to stay interested, come on, you gotta be Johnny on the spot with those.
Well, this is definitely going to lessen that time, that wait, because like I said, they're already working on it, and it's a big one. It's the whole Viltrumite war and all that. So season 4 is the real one that we're waiting on, but season 3 here promises to be not just some filler waiting for season 4. It promises to be just as good as season 1 or 2, and maybe better. And they've actually mapped out the whole thing. So Robert Kirkman, the guy that makes the show, said the way that they've wrote it, mapped it out, roughly 8 seasons, could be 7, could be 10. So they're in the 7 to 10 season range in what they're planning. So they're just now on 3, guys. So there's more than half to go. So they're not even close. They're not even halfway done. And if you know the comic, or you've read any of the comic, or you know how far that goes, you know that they can't be very far done because they're still in the very beginning of that comic. So, you know, they're trying to get through the comic is what they're saying, because Invincible has ended. The comic is not ongoing. It's a finite,
Yeah,
like it's got an ending. So they're gonna go through the whole deal, and that's awesome because it's been very comic accurate, very, 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 very comic accurate, which is easy to do with animation, which makes me wonder why Marvel can never seem to pull it off, even with animation. I don't know, but DC
it's
does better. DC does
it's
pretty
your
good.
writers, man. It's your writers and your producers and your directors. They gotta be dedicated to doing that. And a lot of the Marvel directors, they work for Disney, and Disney gives them that freedom to do it. Like, do
Yeah,
what they want, and
yeah.
that's what they do. We wound up being mad and complaining, and if they would just give us what we asked for, we might win an Oscar.
You might win an Oscar. My man said, "Yo, I'm on the train from the city. Warlord Cipher Goon. That must be Raw Talk.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking.
He's on the
Yeah.
train coming from New York City." Mighty Rack said Matt Reeves style would serve as Court of Owls well. That's, I think, the second like most uh expected theorized villain right there, or villains, or storyline. And Court of Owls, I think that's more of an overarching big bad, something that looms through the whole trilogy, not something that would be like, oh, we're gonna fight these guys in this movie and then move on to the next. You know what I mean? They're not something that, it's not like that. So I think that that's something that should stretch over a few films, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
but yeah, man, I
And
gotta break out. I gotta break out, man.
and still got to break out Raw Talk. I
Yeah,
don't think we're gonna
yeah.
make it, man. We pretty much wrapping it up now, but before we go, man, there's a couple of, well, that comic books may rocket in price next week with the
Oh
tariffs.
yeah, I was getting yeah. They're going to rocket with
The
the
tariffs,
tariffs. Yeah,
tariff
ain't
attack.
no might about it.
Yeah,
There's no might about that. They are going to go up.
yeah. The $4
Um,
comic is now going to be like $5, and that sucks, And this is affecting like DC, Marvel, big because they
everybody.
print their comics in Canada.
Yep.
They need to
And
start
they
printing
drive
them bitches
and
here.
they I think they print them there because we don't have any more printing presses here. One of my neighbors used to work on a printing press that would print something like comics or newspapers, things like
Mm.
that. Those jobs, and he was telling me those jobs are pretty much non-existent because everybody here uses their phone or a computer. They don't
Well,
really.
the comics are still like
Well,
glossy digital magazine, just like any magazine. So if you can print a magazine, you
but
can print a comic.
yeah, but you still need to. But like he was saying, you still need to press, and they're like he was telling me to in order to do
Oh,
like whatever you
old
want. It's
school
the
comics, yeah, like that newspaper
yeah. He
material
said it's
paper,
these.
yeah.
Yeah, he said it's these roles that they and you got to switch them out. It's either that or we don't have an operation big enough or someone. And Marvel probably doesn't own any print. They probably don't own any presses anymore. That's why. Neither does DC. So
It's
they
all
probably just print
computers
them out of
now,
there.
man. It don't make
Yeah,
sense,
yeah.
man. It just, I mean, I
And
know
even the comic is drawn. Even the comic is drawn on Digi. Oh, what is it called? DigiPen. They use DigiPen for all of that mostly.
sometimes, yeah,
Some
yeah,
artists, yeah, some artists I'll see draw a hand, but mostly it's DigiPen.
yeah. Well, those comics
Yeah.
just, yeah, I mean, we're talking like a 25% tariff being imposed by the USA. Remember, comic book stores are not obliged to charge the cover price for comics, so we may even have to pay 25% more. And then, if they pay 25% more, we're going to pay 25% more. And with Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, IDW, Dynamite, Boom, most
Reno, that's how tariffs work.
yeah,
That's how
most pu
tariffs
most
work. You
most
just
most publishers printing their monthly comics in Canada expect a $4 comic to be a $5 comic overnight. And we can say goodbye to Todd McFarlane's $2.99 Spawn line. That's done. Expect that to be the case going forward, unless A, savings can be made, and B, US printers can be found. But the printers are generally more expensive than those in Canada. It's really just a matter of expense. Comic to print here in the States, it costs them a lot more. And so to keep the price down, they print in Canada. That's it. But that passes the savings on to us, right? But the tariff is now going to pass the increase on to us.
Yeah.
And
You
yeah,
guys, well, Reno, and it, you know what, Reno, I'm just gonna say it. Y'all voted for him. Y'all got him. Now you
that's
got to
it.
deal with his
That's what you wanted.
politics. So be prepared to pay more, because I mean, 'cause everybody, and we're
You know,
not a
these
political
motherfuckers
show. We
thought that
don't
they
get
were
it.
gonna
Yeah, we
be
don't
rich.
get into all that, right? Yeah, you thought you were gonna be richer. You thought you were gonna get more money. You thought you were gonna have this, and now we're paying more for comic books. Something simple, comic books. Stop.
Everything gonna cost more.
Yeah. Eggs now that they're on TikTok and all that, they're telling people don't buy eggs because they're too expensive. Don't buy chicken because the price of chicken has went up.
And it's not
Um,
only the tariffs, guys, because remember the pipeline from Canada to the USA was incredibly
that's where
smooth,
we get,
almost
and
like
that's where
going
we get
state
oil,
to state.
right?
So
And that's where we get oil. That's where
the
we get our
delays at
oil.
the border have not been an issue for decades, especially in Canada. It's not like Mexico, but so have they've not been
That's where
factored
the
in the
oil.
publishers' release schedules. Okay, so now the
That's
tariff
where our oil
processing
comes from.
has been
Yeah.
carried
Oh,
out
and people
on every
and people
pack.
in New York and people in New York, you guys use hydroelectricity, which comes from Canada
Yeah, so start
and
expecting
Michigan
delays hitting
and
everyone,
Michigan.
not just the comics, but from next week as well. And the extra costs, of course, will have an exponential effect on the cheapest of books, such as
Yes,
previews books and other catalogs, even free comic
which
books,
means
free comic book
which means
day,
yeah,
and the
yeah, we're
tariff's
gonna
going
see
to
how
kill
it's
off
gonna
that as
affect that
well.
in May.
That's gonna,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I can say one thing for all you comic fans out there, because I love y'all. Me and Reno, we love y'all. We do. Me and Reno can tell you this. Now's a good time to start picking up those back issues you always wanted, because there won't
yeah,
be a tariff on those.
right,
So to start getting your back issues.
yeah,
So do what you gotta do, people.
yeah.
Back issues might go up a little bit in price, but they'll still be affordable and fun to read.
They might just because people are assholes like that, and they were like, "Oh, the comic price is going up, man."
Yeah, so
No,
I'm gonna
dude,
get
it's
the
not.
back
It's not.
issues and yeah, so
But
yeah,
yeah,
so you guys,
one of the
we'll
publishers
see
said,
what happens.
based on Trump's previous term, I expect there will be a back and forth posturing, etc., during that time before we finally know the tariff percentages where they land and what exactly it impacts. And at that point, we'll evaluate if it makes sense to move business to domestic printers. My gut is it won't. So if worst comes to worst and it's just really bad, they will move to domestic printers in America. But at this time, while Canada's the cheaper route, they're going to print in Canada. If Canada becomes more expensive, yeah, they'll start printing in the US. I mean, so
Which means it'll still go up.
it's
It'll
still going
still
to
go
go
up,
up a
but
little bit, maybe
not as
not as
much
much.
as it did. Right.
Yeah.
But not as much as it would have if we did it in Canada.
Yeah.
So either way, we're still paying more for comics. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, you wanted them, you got them.
You wanted them, you got
You
them. Now
better
you
get
got
it.
'em. Now
You
you got
wanted,
to
you
do
got them. Get a second job. That's what I tell everybody that complain about it. Just listen. You voted in your new president. Get a second job. That's all I can tell you. Because he's for the rich and the powerful, and you're not rich. If you don't have at least $1 million or more in your bank account,
it.
just sitting there right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't afford to vote Republican because they're more conservative. They're the only thing I can say good about Republican values is they don't like taxes.
Right.
They don't like taxes, and that's the only good thing I can say about their all
Yeah.
that. But all that conservative and all that, I don't believe in none of that. I just believe that they want lesser government, and they
They
want to
want
be
less
able to
government.
commit. They want to be able to commit more federal crimes and not get caught for it.
Yeah. They want
That's how you
capitalism.
put the Republican right. That's how you put the Republican Party in a nutshell for me. I'm cool as long as I'm cool with it as long as some of them crumbs fall off the table for me. But if they don't. If they don't, I ain't cool with it. If I
I
can't get
ain't
a piece of the
cool.
pie, I ain't cool with it. Yeah, yeah. If I get a piece of the pie, we all good, baby. Do you? As
Yeah.
soon as I can't get none, if I can't get none, nobody can have none. That's how I get down.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, yeah. If I
Yeah,
can't get
man.
none, none of us can have none.
Hang on. Doing saying some shit. What he said. He said, "Hey, Fantastic Four just looks plastic." He didn't like it. He said the special effects. He
I
said,
didn't
"Look,
like it.
he like
Nah, that's
this
why he
nigga
got
got."
to be here. That's why you got to be here. So yeah,
Yeah, you
because
got to
he's
be
always
here,
the
man. You
devil's
can't be.
advocate. Yeah, he's always the devil's advocate. That's that we. Yeah, yeah. You got to be here. Don't worry. We're gonna catch up. We gonna get him. Get him.
So
But I gotta go. I really gotta go.
Orlando. All
Yeah, I
right.
really gotta go, man.
Mortimer, we're back. All right, Stu. Be safe. And we'll see you guys next Saturday, man. So yeah, man. First steps looks pretty good. Man Bat joining the DCU. Tariffs coming, but it's all good. Fifth Element is here.
Right. And if Six
Uh,
Element can't get none, can't nobody have none.
cocaine is a variable. I'm moving to Florida.
Yo, peace,
Yeah.
yo.
All right, y'all. We'll get up with y'all next week. Man, be safe, man.
Peace.
Yeah, man. Be safe, guys. We'll
Peace.
see you guys Saturday, man. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace out.